Putting the client first. That was my main priority some 20 years ago when I started the Resource Center, and it remains my priority today. That's why I wrote Finding the Courage to Retire, to help guide you confidently along a journey that should be the most rewarding of your life, from creating sustainable income and preservation strategies to understanding Social Security, Medicare, and much more. This book is the retirement roadmap you need. To get your free copy, just call or email our office today.
We'll see. How's it going, Bruce?
Hey, it's good.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us again here on K-ROG. Everybody from Rogersville, thanks for watching us. We appreciate you being here. So
leave it up to management to screw it up.
I was like, don't move anything, but it's okay. We'll make it work.
Hey, how's everybody?
Well, I'm doing all right. How are you?
This is a great day in Rogersville.
Oh man, I'm so thankful for the weather, and it is. It's just been great.
I tell you, it's. I think I'm just happier when it's 75 degrees.
I know I am.
You know?
I don't like being all hot and sweaty.
I know.
It's no fun.
Yeah, the 100-degree heat's just too much.
I don't mind the cold. You know, you can turn up. You can turn up the heat. You can put on a sweater, but you know when it's hot out, you can only get so naked.
Yeah,
and then that's kind of it.
Well, then we need people like you because they throw us in jail.
Then they're upset about it.
Yeah.
So.
Anyhow.
Yeah. No, good stuff going on.
So it's all good. Rogersville is a clicking place.
It is a happening town. We got a lot of stuff going on. Coming on around here, and chili cook-off coming up. And
hey, have we let the word out that we're moving?
I don't think we have, but
should we? Or
I don't know. It's going to be a month or so, but we're not moving very far. But we're going to get a little more studio room here for K-ROG, and maybe some redesigned sets.
See, what you guys can't see is this is actually a 3x5.
It's tiny
studio
in here.
set.
It's very, very tiny.
We have our clothes hanging right here across on the other side.
It's that corner is storage.
Yeah, we have a kitchenette.
It's kind of the whole thing. So it's tiny, but we're gonna moving up and moving on. So that'll be cool.
Yeah,
but
I think that'll be good.
Yeah, well, I just heard some Democrats say that if you vote for Democrats, that'll end. They can solve the hurricane problem.
Well, yeah, and Biden last night, what did he say? Don't worry, everybody, be calm and get vaccinated, and you'll survive this hurricane.
Is that the hurricane vaccination?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm still waiting for him to cure cancer.
Yeah.
Cure cancer.
He
that
said
was a campaign promise. So.
Yeah, he said he could. So we'll see. So anyway, when you have a herd of baboons running your country.
Well, if they can just spend more money, that'll solve the inflation problem, I understand.
You know what a herd of baboons is called?
I don't.
Congress.
There you go. That makes sense. Well, I
Look
do know
up.
pro is the opposite of con, and therefore Congress is the opposite of progress. So there you go. So what do you got for us today, Bruce? That was fun. But
I think we ought to talk about inflation.
Let's talk about inflation.
I mean, it's the silent killer of everybody's dollar in your pocket. So take your wallet out, pull out $1, and it's worth a lot less than it was when we were born.
You're darn right about that.
And so it's what people don't understand is the purchasing power of that dollar bill. Now, I can remember years ago in high school when gasoline finally went over $1 per gallon. Yeah. And everybody goes, this isn't sustainable. There's people can't afford to do that. And good Lord, look how, of course, I don't want to date myself, but that was several years ago. And now, 40 years later, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 a gallon for gas. It's higher than milk at one point, but now it's come back down. So now dairy farmers, don't worry. You're going to be just as rich as those Saudi sheiks once it all figures itself out because milk's very expensive.
Well, I think the thing is that people don't understand is the value of a dollar fluctuates. It changes and it shrinks is what it does. It gets less and less. And that's why whenever you see people talking about the minimum wage ought to be X, it's meaningless because it doesn't matter if you're getting paid $1 an hour or $100 an hour. What matters is how much your dollar can buy. And anytime you raise the minimum wage, you inherently cause inflation, which it completely erases any perceived gains you might have got. It actually sends you backwards, and it's just a ridiculous. I mean, it's just math. It's just simple math, and
So I think it's also to understand where inflation comes from. You know, inflation is created by flooding the U.S. economy with more actual paper money and value on that currency.
Yeah, money, dollars.
So they're flooding the U.S. economy with cash. And what's that do? That devaluates the dollar, which creates inflation.
It's scarcity, right? Supply and demand.
Okay. So now that you need to understand how that happens, because what's crazy are these politicians think we're idiots. You know, consumers do not create inflation. If you're a consumer of goods, there is no way you can create inflation, right?
Right.
So now that we understand that, also producers, people that own manufacturing, people that own companies that employ people. I don't care if it's McDonald's or a manufacturing company. They do not create inflation. Mm-hmm. The only way that inflation can happen is big government spending, big government producing money. They're the only people that can produce money. We can't.
You mean government spending causes inflation?
Yes. So now when your government spends a bunch of money that they don't have and they create more
where'd they get all that money that they don't have?
Well, I guess they're borrowing it.
Yeah, from China.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so here's the other day. What did we do? We gave Ukraine another great big huge bailout or loan, or not a loan. We gave them money, you know. And hey, I'm compassionate. I'm all for helping Ukraine, but I think everybody else should help also. But we borrowed $40 billion from China and gave it to Ukraine. Why didn't we just take it out of our military budget?
Yeah, I don't. Well, because we want to. When we give cash to foreign governments, that then allows them to give it back to us in the form of black campaign contributions through the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, right. And so
that's how foreign aid works, by the way.
You know, right. That's exactly how foreign aid works. So now, I think understanding inflation is very important. I think as a consumer, if you're struggling right now, I think now's the time you got to sit down. You got to do an in-depth analysis of where is your money going. And people go, well, gosh, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, you do. You know how to write a check. You know how to swipe a credit card.
Yep.
All right. Stop doing it and treat it like you've got dollars in your pocket. If you don't have the money to pay for that cup of coffee, don't do it.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Don't borrow money to buy something that you're going to consume, right?
Right.
Now, I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Why would I not do that? Because you're going to consume that, and it's not going to be here, and you're still going to owe for it, right?
But that's going to make me money because it's going to fuel my day. So that's an asset. So I'm going to consume it, and it's going to make me productive, and I'm going to make some money.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you do that, you're okay, right?
Right, yep.
But I think an in-depth analysis of where's your money going, take the last 3 months, look at your checkbook, look at your credit card statement, sit down as a family and make it an exercise. Pull your kids in, try to teach them. If you don't have the money, don't spend the money, especially if money is tight. If you're living on a fixed income, all right? And there's several folks that have an hourly wage, and the hour you work, you get paid. You also have to make sure that the budget that you're living under that is paying your bills, that you can put in enough hours to pay for that need of income, right? Right. That's pretty basic. That's how it works. So now go back 3 months and see where your money went. And if you're going out to eat every other day, quite honestly, I love Storytime Coffee.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. The Lord will understand. Right?
Right.
Now, one of these days, you'll be able to go back out to eat and do your thing. But if you're spending $20 a day at McDonald's and Starbucks and everywhere else, stop it.
Stop it. No, I get.
You cannot.
So we
afford
do
it.
that, and we found ourselves $150 a month. What do we do with that?
So now stick that in cash. We have a negative savings rate in the United States. We owe more in credit card debt as a consumer than you have in your savings account. Okay. All right. Reach down with both hands and remove head. Right?
Yeah.
Get your head out of your butt and quit doing things like that because you can't afford to. People need to refocus on what's going to provide stability, and that is going to be financial security. And so if you can't afford it, stop buying it.
Right.
If you can't afford to go to McDonald's every day for lunch, quit doing it. Number one, it's the most unhealthy place in the world to eat lunch. People that are struggling with obesity, maybe you're just a little bit overweight, right? Well, cut out all that stuff. And you're gonna get pretty lean pretty quick, and healthier, and et cetera. So I think taking the last 3 months and looking to see every single penny, where did it go? That's how you do it. You figure that out, then you know what? Try sticking $100 in your savings account and forget about it. It's not there to spend. Right. It's there in case you get sick, or it's there in case you're off work for a little while or something pops up. That's what it's for. It's not to go out and have a big weekend drinking with your buddies and blow all your money in your savings account. That's just, that's just being an idiot, right?
Right.
All right. So now, what am I going to do if I've got my budget under control and I'm still struggling? Okay, then you're going to have to start cutting. You're going to have to start cutting things that you cannot afford to do anymore, whatever that may be. Now, I don't think you should live in your car, but you know what? If you've got 2 vehicles and you're struggling as a young family making ends meet, maybe you just need to figure it out with one. I don't know. I don't know what those answers are. I think people need to sit down and not stop being passive about things about money and start diving in and learning it and figuring it out for yourself. And if you don't know, get help. Good grief, call us.
Sure.
We'll be glad to sit down and help people.
417-882-1800.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what your question was.
What are we going to do about inflation, I think is what we were talking about.
Well, I had a whole list of things here, but I think we're covering it.
Okay.
You can talk about all kinds of different things, cash flow. I think retirees, I think there's a lot of folks that were contemplating retirement, and now they're having to reevaluate that because look what's going on.
Yeah.
Cost of living is higher. If you're getting ready to retire within the next 12, 24 months, 1-2 years, it's a pretty scary time right now because I'm telling you, this economy's not stable.
Yeah.
Things going on behind the scenes that would scare you to death economically. This country's not on a strong footing. Don't kid yourself.
Well,
they keep telling us inflation's 8.3. Have you bought eggs lately?
yeah, it's more like 40, 20, 40. Yep, it's crazy.
So I predicted 2 months ago, I do a little TV show over here west of town, and I predicted 2 months ago that the markets, I felt like, were conditioned to pull back 40 to 60% of their current value. And, that was back in, mid or early to midsummer. Maybe it's been 3 months ago. But, I think that we need to take heed because I looked at reports yesterday and, now I understand if you're the genius of the neighborhood and you're the only one in Southwest Missouri making money, kudos to you, right?
Right.
Now, for the most part, let's all get honest. The market's down. The market's struggling. There's a lot of volatility. Don't gamble with money you can't afford to lose. You can always gamble later in life when you're a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do that.
Right?
Right.
So don't think you're there yet if you're struggling with your budget because of COVID or current economics or inflation. If you're worried about stuff like that, you are not financially secure. Right? Now, let's focus on the basics. So if you can't afford to lose money, get the heck out of the stock market. Quit monkeying around with things you don't understand. A mutual fund portfolio, excuse me, that's just a lazy way to manage money. Right? So let's not kid yourself. When things are volatile, things are pulling back, things are suffering, don't sit here and give your hard-earned money to people that don't even live in our area, that are in New York, that are laughing all the way to the bank while retail
and
is
investing
losing their shirt.
your money according to their DEI score, which you would not appreciate.
Right.
Yeah. They're forcing the diversity, equity, inclusion companies to do that. So you don't want that, so keep it local.
Keep it local. And so, you know what? Interest rates are coming up right now. Go to if nothing else, let me do you a favor. Go to your local bank, shop for a CD. You know, CD rates are coming up. Now, don't understand, it's 3, 4, 5 to 8%. That'd be great on a CD. I could put that out on a billboard if the sign worked. And right. And you know what? I'd have cars lined up.
Yep, you sure would.
Right?
Yep.
And it still would not break even compared to current inflation.
Yeah, I know.
And so, see, that's what I'm saying. People don't understand that correlation between, interest rates and inflation. So, and then you got the IRS, you got all this stuff. So that's my point. People that, I think, truth be known, none of us are financially secure because we don't know what tomorrow brings. Now,
we know the one who does, though.
That's right. We know the one who does. I'm not worried about long term. This is flash in the pan.
Yep.
But, trying to be the best steward with what we've been blessed with, I think you got to understand times are tough. And when they're tough, tighten up that belt. That's my advice for our community. I think we can do it. I think we can work together. I think you get support. And if you need help, by all means, call us. We'll be glad to help. We'll put you on the show. We'll interview you. You can tell me what you think.
Yep.
Hey, that'd be fun.
We can do call-in shows.
Hey, that'd be good.
We can do it. Join us next week for more Dollars and Cents. We'll have some more good advice. So, Bruce, thanks for being here.
See you next week.
We'll see you.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and the Resource Center, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet a particular need of an individual situation. The Resource Center, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by the Resource Center, Inc. This podcast is a paid placement.